Okay, at this time, good evening. Good afternoon, right? Okay, first let's ask Coach Watson to please come up. Let's give our before we start with the presentation, we'll ask Freola Johnson to briefly say a few words to you, and then we'll have Freola Clark, and then I'll read the commendation to you guys. Okay?
Thank you, Madam President. First of all, I want to say to the ladies, very rarely do we get a chance to personally say thank you and congratulate you on our own, because so many people have did it, and I know you girls have gotten all the accolades that there is to get, but here is special because a Norcan like myself get to say congratulations and take pictures with you and to honor you for those achievements. I'm going to tell you, I must say, I think that Shabazz Lady Bulldogs is the most winningest team in New Jersey's history. If I'm not correct, am I correct?
Yeah.
Yes, you are. And, it all goes back to the head. The head. The body cannot go anywhere without the head. And Vanessa has been a true head for this Shabazz Lady Bulldogs basketball program as long as I've known. And you have a great woman here. And she's my neighbor, so I feel even extra super about it because she only lives around the corner from me. But Malcolm X Shabazz, Lady Bulldogs, you are the greatest. You have traveled all over the United States, and you have kicked butt and took names. And I have witnessed it over the years. It seems like every year 2 or 3 leave, and she reloads. She's always reloaded. How many girls there are sophomores? Raise your hand. How many are juniors? How many freshmen? And how many seniors? That's something. So I'm not going to prolong this because I could talk about y'all all day because I'm a Nicky North guy. I am to the bone. And I'm going to let this presentation go on, but congratulations. And we love you here at the county. We really, truly do. But I don't think y'all going to have enough room in our office to keep all these plaques and stuff that you get from the county, because you've been up here quite often. We might as well give you one of these seats here and let you sit in with us. But congratulations, Vanessa. It's always a pleasure.
Okay, Freehold Clark, briefly, you'll ask you to make a brief remarks.
Thank you very much, Madam President. Freeholder Johnson spoke about leadership and people who lead a team. Well, I always say, I'm just a sidekick, because this is somebody who leads our team. So let's give it up for our president. And I have to correct myself, Madam President. This is a great opportunity for me to correct myself in front of these young ladies, because we just left Women's History Month. And I always say that we have the only woman president of a freeholder board in the state of New Jersey, but I stand corrected because I believe that in Union County, they have a woman who is directing the freeholder board in Union County. So you're one of two. Yeah, exactly, two. But what can I say about your head coach? Other than to say that it's been my pleasure, and many of you know this, and know the story. I came up on the elevator with one of your assistant coaches, and she was saying, yeah, I know. You always tell us that you knew Waddy when she was little. But I do. And envision her with pigtails. Okay, seriously. Pigtails with whatever you guys used to wear on the end of your pigtails. And those pigtails were flopping. But I'll tell you, she was getting busy on that basketball court. Okay? I would pick her. And how many of you remember Rosetta Guilford? Anybody remember that name? Oh, well, the back row remembers. Okay? I would pick them up, and into my little green Datsun we would go, and off to New York. And the girls in New York thought they were going to just do work and beat up the youngsters from New Jersey. But Waddy and Red and them, they weren't having it. And between the young people that I had from East Orange and the young people that I could garner from Newark, we represented New Jersey pretty good. And I never, ever, ever had a problem. We never had a problem over there. Things were different then. You know what I'm saying? Things were very, very different then. And you didn't have some of the safety issues and things that you guys have now. You have to really be careful when you're taking kids different places and stuff like that. But it was always a safe environment and a good environment. And then Harry James came along. He's deceased now, but he would put together girls teams and girls tournaments. And your coach here would play and distinguish herself. Lisa Donnell, back in the day, was one of your stars and somebody you played against. And the beauty of it is when I walk in here and I see Jana sitting there, after having watched her play in the NCAAs at the University of Pitt, knowing that now she's come back home to work alongside of her former coach and mentor, and possibly, be a coach and mentor of these young people. That's what it's all about. That's what true leadership is about. So let's hear it again for folks coming home. And for you guys making sure that the environment is such, Ms. Watson, that they can come back home. That's very, very, very important. So I can only say that I call this the Shabazz, this time of year, the Shabazz Invitational. Because everybody else has to step up their game to be able to compete with you guys. And when I saw the number of hands that went up for juniors, I can only say, well, get ready next year, because folks, it's gonna be on and popping one more time. Because now you return a true veteran squad. And I don't know what else to say other than to wish you guys speedy good luck. I know it's been a minute since you've been in the Tournament of Champions, so it had to feel good to win it again. You guys are just on a roll. Many of you know that I used to coach at Essex County College and at Clifford Scott. So I can only say that as a former basketball coach and a person who will love the game until the day I die, I really respect and appreciate all of your hard work and what it took for you to get here. Because a lot of people don't understand two-a-days. They don't understand suicides. They don't understand stitches in your side. They don't understand grabbing those shorts because you just don't want the opponent to see you sweat. They don't understand what it means when you get a floor burn. I do. I know what you went through to become a champion. You never underestimate the heart of a champion. You're champions, God bless you. And this is a wonderful, wonderful way for us to be able to acknowledge you.
I can't play basketball. So I can only relate to what you said about this team being a winner. And we are so, so proud of you. Not only the residents in the city of Newark, but throughout the state of New Jersey. And to come meet a team from Newark, New Jersey, and they always say nothing good comes out of Newark. Well, we've proven to them that that's not true, right? Yeah. But look what we have with us this evening. So I will read the commendation honoring the Malcolm X Shabazz High School girls basketball team for winning the 2013 Group 2 State Championship and the 2013 Tournament of Champions. The Malcolm X Shabazz High School girls basketball team of Newark re-established itself as New Jersey's premier girls basketball team by first capturing the 2013 Group 2 State Championship and then going on to win the 2013 Tournament of Champions. In the state tournament, the team defeated Caldwell, Ridgefield Park, and Lincoln High School of Jersey City, all by very wide margins, to win the North 2 Group 2 Sectional Championship, and then went on to defeat Glen Rock and then Williamsboro, again by wide margins, to capture the Group 2 State Championship. But you know what? The Lady Bulldogs didn't stop there. They qualified to compete in the Tournament of Champions, where they first defeated Group 1 State Champion Fort Pleasant Beach 65-50, and then Group 4 State Championship Valley, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, to win the TLC championship and stake their undisputed claim as New Jersey's #1 girls basketball team. The Lady Bulldogs finished their season with an outstanding record of 33 victories with only 1 loss. That's it. They are also the undefeated champions of the Super Essex Conference, won their 5th straight Essex County Tournament Championship, is 16th overall and 17th in the last 12 years. And also won the Newark Public Schools Holiday Tournament Championship. Long recognized as the gold standard for excellence in New Jersey. Girls basketball. Shabazz previously won Group 3 state championships in 1983, 203, 204, 206, 208, and 209 before moving to Group 2, where it has won 4 consecutive state championships in 2010, 11, 12, and 13. I tell you what, I just can't get over.
I don't want to play that.
I don't want to tell you. The team finished the season ranked by the Star Ledger as the #1 team in New Jersey and as its 2013 Team of the Year. The Malcolm X. Shabazz High School girls basketball team, New Jersey's team, was coached by head coach athletic director Vanessa Watson, and we have the same last name. And assistant coaches Jana Sims, Deborah Wilkerson, and Simone Baskerville. So, Coach, let me tell you, we are so proud of you and your team. And I'm sure that if we couldn't make this happen if we didn't have some parents involved, some other principals involved at the school, and whomever had played a part in making sure that we won the 2013 Group 2 state championship. We want to commend all of you. But I want to say something special to my seniors that's leaving. We want you to know that when you leave here, and I'm sure you're going to go to some college, we want you to always remember that your home, remember what you were taught by your coach, remember what your parents taught you, and make sure when you reach the goal that you want to reach, that you'll come back to Newark and teach and nurture some other young women such as yourself. Thank you, and may God bless you. Okay, you want to speak first before you come? Okay, very good.
Yeah, I'd like to also acknowledge Tonette O'Neill, who's actually a parent / assistant coach. She helps out in all capacities, as well as Janice Kettles, who's like my left hand man. Every time I need something, she's there. And the Godfather walked in. I know you all know Kabubi, you know, big supporter. We call him the Godfather because he's just there for us all the time. So we really appreciate the time that you guys take out for us. You know, we put a lot of hours in. These girls have withstood some tough times. You know, we've had a really good season. We had some big games that we had to get through that people didn't think we could possibly win, but they definitely gave it all they had, and were able to come out with victory. So I'm real proud of them. You know, our seniors are going to do well. You know, we're looking at the colleges already, and the KIT got an offer from University of North Carolina, Wilmington. So we're excited about that. And, you know, hopefully these girls have grown and they know what it takes now and they're ready to move forward and hopefully just continue to try to be the best they could be. And that's all we can ask. Thank you. Okay, I'll start with the younger players first. Our sophomores, Robin Engelman. That's come up. Sophomore, Asitra Robinson. Our juniors, Brianna Franklin, Sayana Williams, Zaire O'Neill, Atalia Butler, Equasia Rattray, and Deasia Jones, juniors. Our seniors, Maiwa Olabakinde, and our senior captain, Nakaya T. The coaches want to come up. Deborah Wilkinson, Simone Baskerville, Jania Sims, Tonette O'Neill, Janice Kettles. Our senior captain is going to speak for us tonight.
Hi, I'm Nakai Teague. I am the senior captain of our team. On behalf of the team, I want to say thank you to the Essex County Board of Freeholders for honoring our accomplishments. We appreciate you taking the time to congratulate us, and we are happy to share this time with you. Our team worked long hours to achieve our goals in the classroom and on the court. Being acknowledged by the board of freeholders help us to know that our hard work is appreciated. Thank you from all of us at Malcolm X Shabazz High School.
Why don't you tell everybody where you plan to be attending next year?
I plan to be attending the University of North Carolina in Wilmington on a full scholarship.
This is going to be about the church, you know. I'm a trustee at Metropolitan Baptist Church, and I know I see some of these ladies. Of course, I see her, but I know how many of you guys belong to Metropolitan? I know. They come. Oh yeah. All right.
And yeah, well, I have them.
We get their praises when they get there. That's for sure. They always do. Pastor Jefferson. That's a good thing.
One thing you gotta recognize, ladies, without faith, you go nowhere. If you don't believe in nothing, you won't be. So you got to have faith. You got to have faith.
You guys are always so good to us, and we really appreciate getting the plaques every year. I know last year we bought pictures for you. We didn't quite have any ready, but I hope we have enough. If not, there are more, but we bought T-shirts.
Look at it.
We take this song for our school, and it's like an honor to them, well, to tell what we do at Malcolm X Shabazz, how we don't have any days off, and how every game, even the game we lost, we still feel like we win every time because of the amount of practice that we do, and that's what we got. There is. Hello. Oh, there are other members that have parts in the song, but I have the chorus part, which I'm going to sing now. Okay. We're like a Super Bowl team. You know the feeling like we won a Super Bowl ring. And we never get a day off. Make the city proud like we won the freaking playoffs. That feeling, that feeling. That feeling, that feeling. That feeling, that feeling.
Meeting call to order. Please stand for the flag. Freeholder Owens, would you please lead us in the salute?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Remain standing for a moment of silence, but before we go into the moment of silence, the board send our condolences for the untimely passing of Miss Mary Corcoran Parsons. Did I pronounce that right? The grandmother of freeholder Leonard Luciana. The visitation is Friday, April 5th, 2 to 4, 7 to 9, at the Pablo Evans Funeral Home, 901 Beaver Dam Road in Point Pleasant, New Jersey. The service is Saturday, April 6th, 10 o'clock, St. Peter Church, 406 Foreman Avenue, Point Pleasant Beach, New Jersey. And the Intimate Gates of Heaven, East Hanover, New Jersey, will be held privately. Let us now bow our heads for a moment of silence and a special prayer for the family of freeholder Leonard Luciana. Thank you. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Beasley.
Present.
Freeholder Bobadilla, absent. Freeholder Clark.
Here.
Freeholder Gill, absent. Freeholder Johnson.
Present.
Freeholder Luciano.
Here.
Freeholder Owens.
Here.
Freeholder Vice President Seabold, absent. Freeholder President Watson.
Present. I have before me certification from the clerk that this meeting is in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Madam Clerk, are there any topics of discussion?
No, Madam President.
Okay, then, Madam Clerk, let's go to public comment on agenda items for action only. Madam Clerk, let's go to the public on agenda items for action only. Tonight, we will vote on the introduction of the refunding bond ordinance and resolution number 3, 4, 6, 7, 11, and 17 through 24. So if there's any member of the public who would like to comment on the refunding ordinance or resolutions 3, 4, 6, 7, 11, or 17 through 24, please come to the microphone and state your name, address, and affiliation for the record, and you will have 3 minutes to speak. Anyone wishing to comment on the agenda items that we will be voting on this evening? Okay, Madam Clerk, let the record show that no one is wishing to speak at this time. And now, if there's any member of the public who would like to speak on any issue, comment on any issue, please come to the microphone, state your name, affiliation, and address, and you have 3 minutes to speak. And you'll be able to speak on any issue. Okay, Madam Clerk, let the record reflect that there is no one wishing to speak at this time. Madam Clerk, are there any ordinances or resolutions on second reading?
Yes, Madam President, there is a resolution R-2013-00205.
Okay, Madam Clerk, please list it, and let's move to the introduction of ordinance number 1. Please read it.
Introduction of ordinance number 1, refunding bond ordinance providing for the refunding of certain general obligation bonds of the County of Essex, New Jersey, appropriating $50 million therefore, and authorizing the issuance of 50 million bonds or notes of the county for financing the cost thereof.
Okay, Mr. Sheila, will you please explain the ordinance for us?
Yes, Madam President. As we discussed last week at our meeting, this is an opportunity for the County of Essex to refund 2 prior bond issues from 2004 and 2005. The present-day savings would amount to 5.37%, or roughly $2.3 million. The term of these notes will remain the same. and it does follow the local finance new rule on refunding, which the present day value savings must be 3%.
Okay, before I'll let Mr. McInerney get settled. We'll have a question from the attorney, Mr. Polyvecchio.
Thank you, Madam President. Mr. Chilella, we talked about it last week a little bit. How does this affect the current debt service, the structure of the debt service compared to what we have now?
Through you, Madam President, over that schedule that was presented to the board prior, you would see a savings spread out over the terms of the repayments. There would be a roughly $2.3 million savings over the life of those repayments.
And what I meant was, over the life of the bond, I understand. How about annually? Is there any peak, or is it about where it was now, just so we can anticipate annually?
Well, through you, Madam President, as Mr. Acker mentioned last week, no single year would receive an exorbitant savings. For example, we would not realize savings in the first year, the first 3, 4, or 5 years, but spread over evenly over the life of the notes.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. McInerney.
Yes, Madam President, I apologize for being late. I do have these schedules on my desk in my office, and it shows exactly what was said previously. This is an advantage to the debt service structure of the county. It will save $2.3 million on a present value basis, but on an actual dollar basis, actually 2.6. There's the savings is ratable. I believe it's about $300,000 a year. It's ratable over the term of the bonds. I want to say there's probably, can't remember exactly how many years there are left, but how long the term is no longer than the terms were of the original bonds. And as a result, this will save the county the $2.3 million over the term. And again, as was stated, there's no gimmickry. Nobody's trying to take opportunity of those savings in the next year or the next budget year or the year thereafter. It is ratably taking, if you will, on a straight line basis over the term of the bonds. So this is a very positive thing for the county. Now, that said, we don't know whether it's going to be 50 million or 43 million. We're giving him some latitude, not knowing exactly what the market rates will be at the time the bonds go out. But, and I did ask at one point in time, I don't know if I think it will happen when we actually do the bond sale, we'll get a listing of all the issuance costs and the vendors who are paid out of this issue for the services rendered.
All right, freeholders, do you have any questions or comments on ordinance number 1? Freeholder Clark?
The ones to be, I guess, tapped refunding are 2004, 2005 series. And the ones that you expect to get the savings from?
Through you, Madam President, yes, this refinancing opportunity is regarding bonds that were issued in 2004 and in 2005.
Okay, and we're gonna, the savings is gonna be realized over the maturity schedule, the amortized life of the issue. What is that like? I don't see. Is it 14 years? Is it 10 years?
If you could excuse me for 1 minute, I'm going to run and get the bond sketches. Is that permissible, Madam President?
That is permissible. I'll see if we have additional.
I don't want to take up.
I'll see if we have additional questions from the freeholders Well, Mr. McInerney is going for the information
I guess what
that Freeholder
the
Park
question,
requested.
the reason I asked the question about the life of it is since it's not going to happen on the front end, it's probably going to happen on the back end of the life of this issuance, correct? Of the emerald, because it's not really going to be spread out equally across the lifespan of it.
Through you, Madam President, no. My understanding, it is spread out over the terms of the bonds. No extension of maturities. The savings will be spread out over the repayment of these 04 and 05 funds.
Okay, well, that's what I was at. I guess that's why I asked the question, because when Mr. Palovecchio asked the question, you said, well, we're not gonna realize the savings this year or next. You understand what I'm saying? So we're not gonna realize the savings now. So we're gonna realize the savings later on down the road.
Through you, Madam President, I think the correction was, I think the way I read Mr. Polavecchio's question was that this administration would not take all of the savings in 1 or 2 years. We are spreading out the savings so that it's across the board. And that's the question I was answering, Mr. Polavecchio, that it's not just a savings up front, it'll be spread over the life.
Okay. And how much is it costing us to do this? Because I know that cost is over into this.
Through you, Madam President, you know, there's a cap. We will provide Mr. McInerney a sheet on all the vendors, all of the costs involved in providing this transaction. So once that transaction is achieved and accomplished, we'll provide that. The FAs, bond counsel, all of that entities will be provided.
So we don't know going into this transaction what the cost is going to be?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. If I might,
Mr.
Madam
McInerney?
President, I just have to be a little bit of an advantage in that I have this information with me. It's estimated that the cost of issuance will be $134,000, not counting the underwriter's discount. And the savings, that'll include bond counsel, there's a fee to the auditor because of the use of the audit for purposes of the bond issue. There's advertisement that's included. There's a verification agent. There's a fiscal agent. There's printing cost and a prospectus. Those are what makes up the $134,000. In addition, if I might just add what we were talking about before, your question was the term of the bonds. There's 9 years left on the term from 2013 on to 2022. The savings, as the administration indicated, I'm going to read them out. For 2013 budget, it's a reduction of $278,000, $214,311, $15,308, $16,307, $17,309, $18,314, $19,312, $20,300, and then it drops to in 21 to 77 and 80 and 22. Actually, less savings is taken in the back.
So you're going to get more savings right in the middle of the two of these things.
Well, no, you're going to get
You're going to get it spread
equally throughout. I mean, 307, 311, 312. You couldn't structure it any more evenly.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you very, very much.
Okay, freeholders, additional questions, comments? No further questions, no comments. Freeholders, do I have a motion and a second to introduce the ordinance?
I'll move it.
Moved by Freeholder Johnson. Do I have a second? Second by Freeholder Beasley. Additional questions, no further questions. Freeholders, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Beasley?
Yes.
Freeholder Bobadilla, absent. Freeholder Park?
Yeah.
Freeholder Gill, absent. Freeholder Johnson?
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano?
Yes.
Freeholder Owens?
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Seabold, absent. Freeholder President Watson?
Yes.
So
Okay,
moved.
Madam Clerk, are there any ordinances on first reading?
Yes, Madam President. There is a fee schedule ordinance listed on the agenda addendum.
Okay, Mr. Shallow, will you please explain it?
Yes, Madam President. This ordinance is a fee schedule for the use and right-of-way onto county roadways, rights-of-way for telecommunication and information service providers. We have developed this fee schedule for applicants who would propose to install fiber optic and other cabling wiring on public utility easements on county roadways and rights-of-way. In your packet, you'll see a fee schedule. The way it's priced out is for county council's review of their plan. It's rated at $150 per hour, and these services would be billed at 10-minute intervals. The county engineer's cost to review their plan would be $125 per hour. Our county planner, for his time to review, would be $75 an hour, and an inspector to review the project at $50 an hour. And this is pursuant to state and federal law. The county is required to allow commercial entities to provide interstate and intrastate communication services.
Okay, Mr. McInerney,
I don't have any questions.
no questions? Freeholders, questions or comments?
Madam President.
Freeholder Johnson?
Ralph, on this pay scales here that I see the 150 and all, this is not going to be a cost that the county has to acquire.
Through you, Madam President, this is a cost or a revenue to the county. The vendor who opts to run the fiber optic would submit a plan. These individuals would review the plan. They would pay our employees their time for reviewing the plan. So it is revenue back or an offset to their salary.
Thank you, Madam President. I just wanted them to put that on the record because I read that in the information.
Okay, very good. All right, additional questions, comments, freeholders? Okay, then, Madam Clerk, we'll list the ordinance on first reading, and let's move to, instead of resolution 1, let's go to resolution 10.
Yes, Madam President.
And Mr. Shallow, would you please explain the resolution?
Yes, Madam President. Resolution 10 is our Parks Department contract with LaGuardia and Associates to provide production of entertainment services for 2013, amount not to exceed $143,250. We did receive 2 proposals. LaGuardia scored the highest and the lowest cost. In your packet, you'll see a list of summer concert activities. They're broken down in your packet. Starting off July 2nd, concerts run through August 16th and 23rd. And in your packet, you'll also see each of the parks identified with the music act that will be performing at their park. We do have Kate Hartwick here from our Office of Cultural Affairs and Mr. Alati representing LaGuardia and Associates.
Would you ask him to come to the mic?
Kate?
Good evening,
Hello.
Madam
Good evening.
President.
Will you state your names for the record, please? And,
Kate Hartwig, Director of the Division of Cultural and Historic Affairs.
Before I ask for questions from the freeholders, do you want to give us a little more information? I know Ralph just briefed us. Do you have anything to add to the comments made by the county administrator?
No, actually, Mr. Chalala has covered all of the topics in this contract. We will be continuing our concert series in Brookdale Park as well as in our local venues, as well as a number of partnerships with our conservancy groups in local parks for festivals, etc.
Freeholders, questions, comments? Let me just ask one question. Did we decide which venues or which groups we will be using this year?
Yes, those are listed in the contract.
They're listed in the contract. Basically the same groups that we had last year, or did we make?
No, the groups change yearly and are part of the scoring for each contract.
Through you, Madam President, I will highlight there are some repeat performers.
That's what I'm-
Overall, there are some new acts that you'll see on your list. I see we have a group that I guess they imitate the Stylistics. Another group is a Beach Boys band type of music, to a Beatles show, to Louis Prima. So there's a variety of acts for our constituents.
Yes.
John Alati, partner in LaGuardia and Associates. Just to add what the administrator has stated previously, we have a diverse group, acts ranging from, as he stated, one of the top R&B groups, the Stylistics, to Louis Prima Jr. and the Witnesses, which we're bringing in from Las Vegas. And we have some tribute acts that are touring acts now because the music genre has changed over the last 5 years, and what used to be the big bands and the oldies are now turning into groups from the 80s and the 90s. Those groups are not affordable for any town and municipality or county. So therefore, there are tribute acts that are touring the country, and we brought in 2 this year for Brookdale Park. But as you can see from on the list, the 14 concerts in the local park range from jazz to big band to Latin to reggae, oldies. So we tried to really hit every genre in the music industry to bring to the people of Essex County.
Okay, did we use any local artists?
Yes, most of the acts in the local parks are local acts. Some of them were responding to comments made by the local park groups that have requested them. Some, I'll give you an example. In Irvington, Carrie Jackson has been very successful over the years, and the people in the area, along with Freeholder Beasley, have requested her to come back because she's a good draw and she publicizes the concerts in that area. This is our 18th year, by the way, in providing entertainment for the Essex County parks.
And my question I asked that question because I wanted to make sure that we give our local artists an opportunity to perform in the parks. I know we did that in the past. I just don't want us to get away from that.
No, we will not.
Freeholder?
Yes, how are we on the Weekway Park concert this year? Where are we at with that?
Well, our responsibility in the bid was to provide the production, the professional sound and lights from 12 noon till 8 o'clock on June the 22nd with the rain date of June 29th. We have the production company in place, which is the same production company we used last year, which was very successful. We're just awaiting where we're at with the entertainment end. We're not handling the entertainment part. We're only handling the production part.
You done? Freeholder? Okay, no further questions, freeholders. We want to thank you for appearing before the freeholders this evening.
I just would like to add, in closing, we do this in over 50 municipalities and counties in the state of New Jersey, and by far, the Essex Concert Series is the most successful. And I think it's because of the commitment of the administration and the Board of Freeholders, and not only committing to these concerts to give something to the people of the county, but also in personally attending the concerts so the people see that the powers to be in the county are committed to this. And I want to commend you for that.
Thank you. Okay, and your name, I keep forgetting your name, I don't know why. Did you receive an award for Women's History Month?
Yes, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And when are we due?
May, first week in May.
Congratulations, we hope you all the success.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Have a good evening. Okay, Madam Clerk, we'll list Resolution 10. Let's go back to Resolution 1. and Ralph, we'll take one. Please explain the resolution.
Resolution 1 is our Department of Corrections contract award to Direct Machinery Sales Corporation, the lowest responsive and responsible bidder, to provide for repair of laundry equipment at our Essex County Correctional Facility. We are exercising a one-year option, amount not to exceed $60,000. And I would highlight that this is the same contract terms as last year. Last year's contract was also for $60,000.
Okay, let's take two.
Again, our Department of Corrections contract award to Keefe Commissary, the lowest and responsive and responsible bidder, for the operation of our Essex County commissary at our correctional facility. This is a 2-year contract. The revenue was based on 48.2% of sales. The vendor has been providing this commissary at our new correctional facility since we opened in '04. Last year's revenue was $678,394.98, and all of that revenue is inserted back into the prisoner's benefit fund. We do have a current balance of that prisoner's benefit fund of $383,728.
Okay. Freeholders, question, comments on Resolution 1? Mr. McInerney?
The prisoner's benefit fund, could you just describe the use of that?
This for basically for improvements to the facility. I know we've purchased TVs and other such things, recreational equipment, stuff like that for the inmates. But we will provide the board before next meeting a full explanation and areas where those funds can be spent upon.
Okay, so really it's a dedicated fund from these revenues for a specific person.
Precisely.
Freeholders, additional questions on 1? 2 questions on Resolution 2? No additional questions, Madam Clerk. Let's list 1 and 2 for action next week. And would you read Resolution 3? The administration's request in action on Resolution 3. And after you read the resolution, Mr. Shiela, will you please tell us why you request an action?
Yes, Madam President. On this particular contract, the old contract had expired, and we have been operating without this service for a few weeks now. So we want to make sure that we provide this product for our employees at the correctional facility.
Okay, before I ask for questions or comments from the freeholders, Madam Clerk, will you please read the resolution into the record?
Resolution number 3, Department of Corrections contract award to DS Water of America, Inc., the lowest responsive and responsible bidder, to provide bottled water and cooler rental for the Essex County Correctional Facility, 2-year agreement, amount not to exceed $66,875.
Okay, freeholders. Do you have any questions, comments? No questions, no comments. Do I have a motion and a second to take Resolution 3?
I move.
I have a motion by Freeholder Owens. Do I have a second? Second by Freeholder Beasley. Additional question, comments, freeholders? None? A roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Vice President Seabold, absent. Freeholder Owens.
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson.
Yes.
Freeholder Gill, absent. Freeholder Clark.
Yes.
Freeholder Bobadilla, absent. Freeholder Beasley. Yes. Freeholder President Watson.
Yes.
So moved.
Okay, Madam Clerk, will you read Resolution 4 into the record? And again, the administration's request in action. And we'll ask Mr. Shiela to tell us why he's requesting action on Resolution 4.
Resolution number 4, Department of Administration and Finance, Office of Purchasing, authorization to make payments for the balance of emergency service repairs related to Superstorm Sandy, aggregate amount not to exceed $5,750,984.17.
Ralph?
Yeah, the reason why the administration is requesting action this evening, these are two vendors that really stepped up to the plate as a result of Hurricane or Storm Sandy, Superstorm Sandy. They provided the cleanup and the repairs that were required, and now we have rectified their bills, and we're coming before this board for payment. I should highlight that if not all of this is covered primarily by insurance as well as FEMA reimbursements, the county has already received an advance from the insurance company, and the county has also received 2 payments from FEMA, and we are still awaiting additional payments. But this payment is broken down to 2 vendors primarily. The first is from our Parks Department, $234,000 to S. Rotundi and Sons. They provided they were the compost vendor for the excessive debris tonnage caused by the storm. The second vendor was DCO Energy. They provided the bulk of the repairs, as you know, at our correctional facility that was hit rather hard as a result of the storm. And their payment was for $16,948.17. This was for the emergency infrastructure repairs made at the correctional facilities. As you know, we lost all function. We did have the cogeneration facility and all of its electrical switchgear affected by the storm, and we did have the power back on over a period of days, but we were operating under temporary generators and boilers. DCO also provided temporary mitigation, restoration of full power, and provisions of sanitary and sewer systems. And we do have David Boyd from our correctional facility here if the board has any additional questions on this payment.
So before calling Mr. Boyd up.
David?
Yeah, you can come up, Mr. Boyd. Mr. McInerney, any questions, comments?
I would rather just hear Mr. Boyd first.
Okay, let's hear Mr. Boyd. Your name and affiliation for the record, please.
David Boyd, BOYD, representing the Essex County Corrections Department. County Administrator pretty much detailed what happened at the facility. I think we're all very familiar what happened over that very short period of time, but the lasting effects of what happened in the weeks after Superstorm Sandy. Just briefly, you all know we're located on Doremus Avenue. If you could remember, you've toured the site. If you just cross the street through our employee parking lot, you'll know that the Newark Bay is right there. The Newark Bay rose that day from its tidal surge, and at one point, if you could gauge it on my shoulders, if I were to walk through the water, the warehouse, I'd be up to my shoulders in water at the facility. That water did infiltrate the facility on the first floor. It was a yeoman effort by everyone in the facility, both employee and inmate, to make sure everybody was safe there. But the real situation began when that water began to take effect on our infrastructure there. As Mr. Chilella said, we lost primary power functions and our primary wastewater distribution systems being the most severe. All our elevators and kitchen functions, warehouse functions, pretty much 60% of the facility. Our first task, so you can understand this expense, our first task was to recreate everything that we needed to function outside of the facility. So just to give you a picture in your head, if you were to walk through what is that alley between Building 2 and Support Building, you would have seen an entire cogeneration facility duplicated outside using equipment that we brought in from all over the country and even flown in from Canada. That allowed us to, within 2 days, provide all our major resources back to the facility. It kept the ICE detainees in the facility. It kept the U.S. Marshal inmates in the facility so that we can continue to operate and generate our needed revenue. And then the process began to restore what was damaged there. That entire process, because of the individuals in the room today and all our other vendors, only took 10 days primarily. Within 10 days, all our primary functions were back, and then it was just a matter of touching and tuning everything up. Our kitchen function, our warehouse function, our commissary function, our infirmary function, on the day of the storm had to be relocated to the second floor. By 6 o'clock the next day, it was relocated back into its original state. So it was a fantastic effort. It was detailed in the Star Ledger, and that's really all that I have.
Okay, Mr. McInerney. Oh, for the record, Freeholder Gill is present, Madam Clerk.
Yes, Madam President?
No questions, Mr. McInerney?
Nope, that's why I wanted Mr. Boyd
That's
to
what you
explain
wanted
that.
to
I know
hear.
he'd be very thorough.
Mr. Polyvecchio, your question, comments? None. Okay, freeholders, do you have any questions or comments?
Madam Chair.
Freeholder Clark?
Madam
Freeholder Clark?
I'll defer to Mr.
Oh, okay.
Freeholder Beasley first, and then
Freeholder Beasley, and then I'll come back to Freeholder Clark.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I know that this relates to emergency repairs and seems to be a balance. But overall, as far as the impact of Hurricane Sandy, what did the county from, this is the correctional center, but was there other areas, parks, what was the total damage in dollars?
I can get you that. I know this board approved those payments, and they were primarily vendors that addressed the issues in our parks as well as our county roadways. Those bills have been paid. This board had already approved those payments, and that was back, I want to say, like 5-6 weeks ago.
All right. I'd like to get a
We will
total figure of what.
we'll provide a spreadsheet like we did previously as well of that past payments as well as the updated payments for the board.
All right, thank you, Madam Chair.
Freeholder Clark?
Mr. Chilella, when you first started your remarks, you mentioned something about FEMA reimbursement and insurance. How much of this $5 million is are we going to get back from FEMA for insurance?
David Boyd, representing Corrections. It's anticipated, Freeholder Clark, that the entire amount will be covered by insurance and FEMA. And as Mr. Chilella said, just so that we're comfortable, that money is on site. It's just going to be a matter of reconciling with the insurance company.
So that the board is very comfortable. We've already, through our risk manager and people in the administration, worked very diligently with the insurance company, and we had a settlement check
Within 3 days.
within 3 days that more than covered this. So the county has never been out 1 cent on this. Plus, as you know, FEMA does take time. We have already received, I think, 2 reimbursements, and we've got more coming in the pipe.
Just a last question.
Freeholder Clark?
Are we going to experience what many homeowners have indicated to me that they experience with, you know what Mrs. Chilella's smiling, you know what I'm about to say, and that is, are we going to be hit with increased insurance costs as a result? Because many of the homeowners found that their insurance went up. I mean, this was force majeure. Who could possibly have envisioned it in 100 years? And their homeowner insurances are going up. Is that going to happen to us?
I'll let David answer this, but I can tell you the board has already approved one of those increases, and that was one of the carriers at our correctional facility. And the increased cost on that premium was, so as a result of this storm, the insurance company increased our premium from last year to this year by $100,000. So yes, we are being treated just like everyone else. Not well, I might add.
Question.
Yes, Freeholder Owens.
Would it be beneficial to us to examine another insurance company about
Through Madam President, our risk manager does a very excellent job, and he's placed it in the marketplace. The $100,000 increase, believe it or not, under the circumstances, was a good deal for us. I think the next might have been about $1 million increase. So there are individuals or companies that really don't want to write the business, but for a price they will. So I'm not saying we're happy with the $100,000 increase, but given what was presented to us, we had very little alternative.
If you're happy with.
No, I'm not, I don't, never want to say I'm happy.
What they want. No, okay. That answers my question, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Freeholder Lucio.
Through you, Madam President, and I'm going to put this on the record. As county legislators, we're elected by the people of this county to represent to the best of our ability. Maybe this is an example of something that we need to bring to the state level. I know they have a Department of Banking and Insurance, and I've always argued that, good folks, and now we're going to use this as good government, pays insurance yearly, and we're always on time with our payments for the unfortunate circumstances that happened this past year. And I don't think that as the government, the taxpayers, and the people really should be penalized. So I think that maybe as elected officials, we need to come up with a draft of something to bring to the State Department, to banking and insurance, and explain our position. And, if the insurance companies don't like it, then you know what? They're going to have to find their business elsewhere, because I just don't think that it's fair.
Okay, additional comments, freeholders? No? Yes, Mr. McInerney?
Right, just from a budgetary standpoint, well, first, when this first came up, we were aware, the board was made aware that we did have a receipt of money from the insurance company on a very timely basis, much more in excess of what we're looking at here. But from a budgetary standpoint, this is going in as an emergency expenditure, so are we assuming that by year end, we will have all of the money, including any other emergencies that we want to have? This isn't the only one. I mean, we incurred more than.
Through you, Madam President, I believe all of the expenditures or as a result of the storm, if I'm not mistaken, I think we've submitted everything to either FEMA or to the insurance companies. And with the insurance companies, there's a kind of a back and forth for additional information. But for the most part, everything's been filed with those two areas to be reimbursed to the county.
Okay, and my question is, we're talking about, I'm only talking about the timing. We recognize our revenues strictly on a cash basis if we have the check and mail. So we've already paid for this, we're recognizing it as an emergency authorization within our budget. To not have a negative effect, we would have to collect all that money by the end of the year, and that's assumed.
I would say that's a very good bet that we will have everything in-house.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Freeholders, additional questions? None? Okay, thank you.
Madam
Yes,
President,
continue.
before Mr. Boyd leaves, I think the board should really not only acknowledge Mr. Boyd and the team at the correctional facility under difficult circumstances. They came through with flying colors, with help from the state, all levels of government, and Mr. Boyd was at the helm, as well as our directors there. So I want to just congratulate and thank Mr. Boyd for his very difficult but very successful job through this disaster.
And I concur. When you can have such a devastating storm and dealing with the correctional facility and not have any incidents, I think you should be commended. And on behalf of the freeholders, I'm sure, I don't know if any of the other freeholders would like to make comments, but I want to personally thank you and your team for the outstanding job that you did.
Thank you, Madam Freeholder. If I could just beg your indulgence for 1 minute. To my left, in the light shirt, is Barry McVicker, and Ron Halley, who is in the dark shirt. I would like to say that we were there for 14 days. We never left the facility. Those two gentlemen were there for the bulk of the time. And in fact, Mr. Halley's son deployed for active duty the day after Superstorm Sandy, and he stayed with us through that time to make sure that everything was okay. So I just thought that needed to be mentioned and recognized by the county government. Thank you.
Absolutely. If no further comments, then again, thank you, Mr. Boyd, and have a good evening. Let me go back, freeholders. Do I have a motion and a second to take resolution 4? Moved by freeholder Beasley. Do I have a second? Second by freeholder Johnson. No further discussion or comments. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Beasley?
Yes.
Freeholder Bobadilla, absent. Freeholder Clark?
Yes.
Freeholder Gill?
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson?
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano?
Yes.
Freeholder Owens?
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Seabold, absent. Freeholder President Watson?
Yes.
So moved.
Okay, Ralph, let's take resolution 5.
This is our Office of Purchasing, renewal of our Essex County Cooperative Contract Purchasing System. In 2008, this board approved the Essex County Cooperative Purchasing System for 5 years. The system will expire on June 2nd. Basically, what this allows the county to do is serve as the lead agency and permits other contracting units within the geographic boundaries of Essex County to procure provisions subject to the specifications set forth in contracts awarded by the county. In short, when we go out and bid for a commodity, with the ability of municipalities and school districts to be able to tack on and save money by not going through the bidding process, as well as the county being able to buy in bulk, our partners in the municipalities and school districts are able to save money on purchasing goods and services. This is a very good thing for all residents of the county, and we would like to renew this. There is no cost for this renewal of the cooperative.
Okay, Mr. McInerney?
I don't have any comments on this.
Mr. Polyvecchio?
Ralph, if I'm not mistaken, this is actually the second renewal of the cooperative purchasing program, and it's probably, so I guess it's its 10th anniversary, and we're renewing now. So has it been successful for the county and for the surrounding municipalities during that time?
Absolutely. What I'll ask Mr. Jorgensen to do is to see if he can provide a listing of those commodities that municipalities and school districts took advantage of and what it meant in terms of savings.
Thank
Very
you.
good. Okay, Madam Clerk, let's list resolution 5.
Yes, Madam
And
President.
would you read resolution 6 and 7 into the
Excuse me,
record?
Madam
And-
President.
Yes, Freeholder Clark.
I just have one question, Mr. Chilella.
Are we going back to 5, Freeholder?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, go ahead.
When we looked at the list of goods and services that we approved, the large number,
Omnibus?
the omnibus, correct, thank you. In that omnibus, there was an amount for, I think, that we had to pay to be a part of the Somerset County and the Morris County. Now, this doesn't have anything to do with that, correct?
Through Madam President, that is a cooperative that they extend to other municipalities outside of their geographic borders. This cooperative is pretty much for entities within the Essex County borders.
So Essex, Hudson, Union, people who are contiguous or strictly within?
The 22 municipalities and the school districts within Essex County.
Within, okay, I got you. So this is actually something that we're spearheading.
Yes.
I got you. Okay.
Okay, Madam Clerk.
6 and 7.
6 and 7, yes.
Resolution number 6, Department of Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Affairs, contract award to Henpat LLC, the highest responsive and responsible bidder for a snack bar concessionaire for Byrne, Hendricks, and Wheatley golf courses, 2-year agreement, revenue $43,991.28. Resolution number 7, Department of Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Affairs, contract award to the 2 lowest responsive and responsible bidders per park to provide landscape maintenance, 24-month agreement, aggregate amount not to exceed $416,875.
Okay, the administration requesting action on 6 and 7. Mr. Scheller, will you explain the resolutions?
Yes, Resolution 6, as you know, the weather has changed. Our golf courses are all opening. Resolution 6 is to provide for concessions at all 3 of our county golf courses, Byrne, Hendricks, and Weequahic. We'd like to get the vendor in there so they can provide their concessions to our golfers. The clerk did read the revenue that the county will receive. Over the life of the 2 years, the county would receive $43,991.28 as revenue for these 3 golf courses. I would highlight that this is a new vendor that we have at our facility. As you know, we've never had success with repeat vendors coming back. Hopefully, this one vendor decided to take all 3 golf courses, and we hope to work with them to make sure that they provide the service to our golfers.
Okay.
Resolution number 7, again with the season before us, the warm weather. These are maintenance contracts for Department of Parks. As you know, in the past 2 years, we provided a contract for maintenance of our parks, grass cutting, leaf removals. We broke it up into areas. This year, we had 2 vendors that, based on lowest bids, have the following parks that they will be providing. Donofrio Landscaping will do Brookdale and Glenfield Park, Orange Park, Anderson Presby Gardens, Veterans Memorial Park, Weequahic Park, Yantakah, and Wassasee. The Landscape Maintenance Services Company will do the Branchwood Park Extension, Eagle Rock, Verona and Grover Cleveland Park, Irvington Park, West Side, Ivy Hill, Vailsburg, Riverbank, and Independence. This is a 24-month agreement for $416,875. We do have Mr. Salvanti from the Department of Parks here with us, and I believe we do have representatives from the 2 landscaping firms as well.
Okay, Mr. Salvanti, you want to come up, please?
Dan Salvanti, Director of the Essex County Park System. Madam Chair, before you tonight, there are 2 vendors that were the lowest bidders, as Mr. Chilello has said. D'Onofrio and Sons have worked for the County of Essex in the past. They were successful on this bid in several other parks. Landscape Maintenance Service, they are new to us, but we have had discussions with both vendors. We were satisfied from our meeting, and we are recommending them for award this evening. The uniqueness of this contract compared to past contracts, they include bed maintenance, leaf removal, and grass cutting. So if you look at that chart, as Mr. Chilello just said, if you look at Branchbrook Extension and Belleville Park, that would fall under landscape maintenance service. That would include bed maintenance, leaf pickup, and grass cutting. Where before they were separated, we had different vendors doing different tasks in each park.
Mr. McInerney, any questions?
No comments.
None. Freeholders.
Madam President, I have one for the number 6. Was it about the snack bar? Yes, concession stand. You know, I want to know what is their plan to maintain the snack bars at all 3 locations, because you know I think Bern kind of takes care of its own. I think Hendricks kind of too, but Weequahic, for some reason, it seems to be a problem with maintaining a concession stand. And it's been for the last couple of years, am I correct?
When you say maintain, you're talking about a vendor?
Yes, a vendor, yes.
We've had problems with all 3, unfortunately, in terms of vendors coming back, vendors walking away, having to do an emergency and bring someone else in. So I think, as I mentioned to this board many times, with the tee time reservation system, these vendors really don't have that great of an opportunity for generating great revenue. What I mean by that is golfers have a tee time, they'll show up 15 minutes before, go out and play, and they'll go home. In the past, they would have to put their names on a list, sit around for an hour or 2. While they sat around for an hour or 2, they'd have breakfast, they'd have a cup of coffee, they might have lunch. those opportunities are very limited in today's tea time reservation system, unfortunately.
But I've noticed, though, I was at Weekway Sunday, that they're doing a major overhaul in the inside. And maybe that will make it a little more pleasanter for people who want to sit around a little longer than what they do, you know. But I'm concerned about the concession stands because I've watched in my 5 or 6 years of actively being there, I see a concession will come in, they'll be there pretty strong for the first 4 or 5 months, then after that I see them start to fade.
Yeah, unfortunately, we do require them that their operations, they must maintain and have operations of certain hours that they must have someone there providing product. But you'll see that after a while, they get lackadaisical. They won't have somebody there during twilight. So, you know, if you want to get a soda or something, there's no one there. We've been riding them, but there was not a large number of people applying or bidding for these services. We've instructed Mr. Chris to stay on top of this new vendor. We don't know who he is or who they are. We do have a menu, a sample menu. Want to make sure that the products that they serve are price pointed right. We don't want to, but at the same token, they have to provide a service. And if we find that they are not provided the service, we are prepared to terminate them and try it again.
Have we considered what myself and Freeholder Luciano have spoke about in the past with the snack cart going around to the golfers? Because, you know, as you said, when golfers have tee times, they usually come 10, 15 minutes before they go out. Then they're out there on the greens. You know, they're out there. And with a snack cart, if that company was, I think, allowed a snack cart, they could catch a lot of them. Because sometime when they get halfway through, by then they just come in and get something simple. When if the cart was coming around, they can get more. I think they would.
We did speak to that, and we are in agreement that if a vendor wishes to bring a snack cart, we do not have a problem. The problem is on the vendor side. If you've got 3 courses, that's 3 pieces of equipment that you must outlay and purchase, and the cost, the revenues may not pay for the expense of those 3 capital expenditures. But from our position, if a vendor wants to provide a cart, we have no objection to that.
You know, another small idea I had, I was trying to figure out how to do it, like maybe even during the summer. We have, with the county Votech schools, we have a culinary arts program. And I think even them doing some stuff for us would be, you know, it would be one thing that they would be getting credits for it, and it would be something very valuable to it because they're doing it with a purpose.
True, we did look at those options. Unfortunately, the school system does close down in the summer,
Yes.
and to have someone full-time be the focal point, it would have to be a business venture, and they would utilize the students at the school. We've been down that road.
Okay. Thank you, Madam President.
Additional questions, comments, Freeholder Clark?
The only thing I noticed that it said concession stand, and it didn't say concession stand at 2 golf courses and vending machines at 1. So we're actually looking to have a concessionaire actually use the kitchen and facilities that we have at all 3 courses. That's good.
All 3 have concessions and all 3 have vending. Because at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, when the vendor's out,
right,
the patrons can go to the machines. But they're at all 3, but they must provide a concession stand at all 3. That is correct.
Because we went down that road a time or two too, where they didn't open the concession, just used the vend. So they're going to, okay, that'll be good.
And we will monitor that, Madam President.
Well, I'm certain that Freeholder Johnson and Freeholder Luciano and myself will have an opportunity to have a breakfast or something at each location.
Okay, and I'm really pleased to see that we have a vendor coming to Weekway Golf Course, because in the past, if you recall, Mr. Shiala, we had a problem just getting someone to bid to come to and Weekway was one of the golf courses that we had concerns about because we could not get anyone to bid on it. So I hope that this vendor works out so that we will at least have a vendor there. Of course, we should monitor to make sure they provide us with the service that we expect them to provide us with. But it's just good to see Weekway Park along with the other two with the vendor concession.
Thank you.
Do we have any other comments, questions, freeholders?
Madam President, I'm just sure that Mr. Salvanti vetted them very well.
Let's hope so. Okay, let's go to comments, questions on 7. Let me see that. On 7? No
Number
comments?
7, number 7, Madam President.
Yes, Mr. McInerney.
I'm looking at the way this was bid, and it looks, and correct me if I'm wrong, it has every location, and I guess the bidders were given an opportunity to bid individually, an amount individually on each location. And then it looked like you were able to take the lowest one on each location. Is that what?
Through you, Madam President, I believe that's the case. In your packet, you'll see there's a chart that lists each of the vendors down the left-hand column.
Yes.
And then across the top, the park. So if you want to just take a look at, for Belleville Park, 3 of the vendors chose not to bid on that park.
Right.
But they did bid on other parks. And what we did was take the lowest price per park.
Per park, rather than package it all together and take it, which was, I think, a much more competitive way of doing this, and probably produced a lot better results. So each park in itself was a bid.
Through you, Madam President, yes. As part of the bid specs, that's how they came in, yes.
I think it's a great idea to do it that way.
Questions, freeholders on 7? Just to go back to our discussion and leadership, I know my concern, it appears that we always have the county employees work in Weekway Park, and I just want you to make sure that that you put on record, place on record that we're not getting rid of our county employees when we vote on these contracts.
Through you, Madam President, as you know, we have not had a layoff, and we do not plan on laying off our employees. You know that we've increased our number of parks countywide. I think we've added 4 over the past few years. We have not increased staff, so this helps us to be able to maintain a standard without letting people go. We will keep our workforce in place.
Fantastic.
Mr.
McInerney.
One other point too, as you know, the maintenance workers for the parks are maintained out of the Open Space Trust Fund.
Yes.
This contract here is paid out of the county's operating budget.
Okay, that's why I wanted to make sure that we clear on that.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Additional comments, questions, freeholders? I need a motion and a second to take resolutions 6 and 7 together. Moved by Freeholder Beasley, second by Freeholder Clark. No further discussion. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Vice President Seabold, absent. Freeholder Owens.
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson.
Yes.
Freeholder Gill.
Yes.
Freeholder Clark. Yes. Freeholder Bobadilla, absent. Freeholder Beasley.
Yes.
Freeholder President Watson.
Yes. Okay, Ralph, let's take 8 and 9.
Department of Parks, contract award to Wilfred McDonald, the lowest responsible bidder, to provide for our Jacobs and John Deere brand mowers, maintenance and repair services, a 2-year contract, amount not to exceed $146,510. We do have 35 cutting units in our Parks Department that are either Jacobson or John Deere brand. Resolution 9, Parks Department contract with Stewart Tractor, the sole responsible bidder to provide for Toro brand reel mower maintenance and repair services. 2-year agreement, amount not to exceed $110,335. We do have 32 cutting units that are of the Toro brand in our Parks Department.
Okay, Freeholders, questions, comments on 8, 9? Mr. McInerney, any
No
comments,
comments on
questions?
8 or 9.
Holly Beckfield, none. Okay, no question, comments, Freeholders on 8 and 9, we'll list them, Madam Clerk, and 10 we've taken care of. We'll read into the record Resolution 11.
Resolution number 11, Department of Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Affairs, contract award to ARF Rental Services, the lowest responsive and responsible bidder, to furnish and deliver rental and portable sanitation units, April 1st, 2013 to March 31st, 2015, amount not to exceed $115,910.
Okay, the administration requests the action, Mr.
Again, Madam President, with the weather, really, our activities in the park are starting to generate. This is for Porta-John services in our park system. This is an amount not to exceed an open-ended as-needed contract, and it also includes not only the standard type Porta-Johns, but also ADA.
Okay, Freeholders, question, comments on 8 and 9? No questions? Yes, I'm sorry. We're on 11. I'm sorry, we're on 11. Question, comments on 11? We list 8 and 9. On 11, Freeholders, no questions, no comments. Do I have a motion and second to take Resolution 11?
I'll move that, Madam
Moved
President.
by Freeholder Luciano. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Freeholder Gill. Okay, no further questions. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Beasley?
Yes.
Freeholder Bobadilla, absent. Freeholder Clark?
Yes.
Freeholder Gill?
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson, absent. Freeholder Luciano?
Yes.
Freeholder Owens, absent. Freeholder Vice President Seabold, absent. Freeholder President Watson.
Yes.
So moved.
Okay, Ralph, let's take 12 through 16, all temporary emergency appropriation. Do I need, yeah, okay, I'm good. Okay, let me have Ralph to explain the resolutions 12 through 16 briefly.
Yes.
Ralph?
Yes, 12 is a appropriation from the New Jersey Transit. This is as a result of an auction that was held, and this is program income back to the county. The county net proceeded $10,136 from 8 vehicles that were auctioned off. Resolution 13 is revenue back to the county from New Jersey Transit as a result of income collected from our special transportation unit. Resolution 14, appropriation from the state of New Jersey, Office of the Attorney General, State Police for hazardous mitigation grant, Office of the Sheriff, $200,000. This helps to develop, coordinate, monitor, and implement of local hazard mitigation plan measures. Resolution 16, appropriation from the state of New Jersey Department of Law and Public Safety, enforcement assistance component for our prosecutor's office, $34,309. This helps to offset the pay of our prosecutor's office detectives who investigate prosecutions of major crime, and this covers the overtime assignments. Resolution 16, emergency appropriation from the state of New Jersey, Office of the Attorney General. This is for body armor replacement for our youth detention center, $16,261. As you know, this board has approved previous vest replacement programs. These vests are for blunt force trauma associated with either the impact of a knife or other pointed instruments, and they are to be utilized by our juvenile detention officers.
Okay, Freeholders, we'll discuss 12 through 16, all temporary emergency. Question, comments on 12? Freeholder Clark?
Actually, it's on 13.
Okay, no questions on 12, then we'll go to 13. 13, yes.
Through you, Madam President, Mr. Chilala, this is income.
Yeah, basically, this is income that we we collect, and it's special transportation, and it's for the disabled inmates at our correctional facility to transport from our correctional facilities to court. So we do get a fee for that, and this is income back to the county.
Okay, so number 13 is not for regular seniors?
Oh, no, not at all.
Gotcha, okay.
Okay, additional questions for y'all? 13, let's go to 14, 15, 16, 17. I'm sorry, 16. Let's stop at 16. Okay, Freeholder B.
Madam President?
Yes, Freeholder Gill.
Just on a quick question on 14. Just wanted to make sure the cash match. A little bit confused on this, through you, Madam President. Ralph, on the effect that the cash match. I guess the question I'm trying to get to is: would the cash match have a potential effect on any of the personnel salaries that are used for that purpose?
Through you, Madam President, we do have Mr. Spango from the Sheriff's Department to address that. My understanding is that it is an in-kind match, and it's on the salaries of OEM employees, but I'll confirm that with Mr. Spango.
President Jim Spango, Essex County Sheriff's Office. It is in kind through salaries through our OEM personnel. We have a full staff up there that works on this mitigation project, and it is a 5-year plan. This is not just for this year, so it'll be done through their salaries in kind, no cost to the county.
No cost. Okay.
So it is a 5-year plan, right?
Correct.
Good.
Madam-
Okay, yes.
If I
Mr.
can, so-
McInerney.
It's $66,666 a year. It's salaries paid, but it is funded by FEMA, because that's what the fiscal impact says here. The funding is provided by the Federal Emergency Management Agency. So basically, it's the same thing. Just washes out.
You'll be back. We'll be back. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was slightly distracted. Mr. McInerney, will you repeat your question, please?
No, it wasn't a question, it was a comment. It's over 5 years. It's actually what it says in the fiscal impact is basically has the same effect of what was just said by Mr. Spango, is that the FEMA funds, according to fiscal impact, FEMA funds will offset this.
Oh, okay.
So, do you mind? So again, so the fact that their salaries are the used for the match would not affect their salaries.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, let's go. Questions, where did I start? 14, 15, 16? No further question, comments, Freeholder, Madam Clerk, let's list 12 through 16.
Yes, Madam President.
And would you read 17, another temporary emergency, and I take that one by itself. We'll read that into the record.
Okay, Resolution 17, 2013, temporary emergency appropriation, an agreement from the State of New Jersey Department of Community Affairs for Community Service Block Grant, Division of Community Action, $163,857.
Okay, Mr. Sheila, will you explain the resolution to us, please?
Yes, this is insertion of revenue to the county, and this is to provide a range of services and activities for impoverished and low-income residents who reside in the townships of Bloomfield, East Orange, Irvington, Montclair, Belleville, and Orange. The activities and services include, but are not limited to, employment counseling and placement, education, career training, housing assistance, emergency assistance, food, youth services, and advocacy.
Okay, Freeholders, question, comments? No questions? Freeholder Clark?
No, other than to say that I'm glad that it's an item for action. And I received a phone call today and a text message. And actually, I would like to speak to the director offline as soon as we vote on this, because somebody is about to be evicted and homeless with 2 children, and in a very, very critical situation. So I think that because we're voting on this tonight, we just might save somebody tonight. So let's vote on it.
Yes, I'm gonna do the motion. I just wanted to see, do we have any additional comments, freeholders, before I ask for a motion? No comments? No comments. Moved by Freeholder Clark.
Yes,
Do I have a second?
Absolutely.
Second by Freeholder Johnson. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Vice President Seabold absent. Freeholder Owens.
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson.
Yes.
Freeholder Gill.
Yes.
Freeholder Clark.
Yes.
Freeholder Bobadilla absent. Freeholder Beasley absent. Freeholder President Watson.
Yes.
So moved.
Okay, let's go to 18, 19, 20. Yes, let's do just those 3. You can read them. Yes, please.
Resolution number 18, Department of Citizen Services, Division of Community Action, Subgrant Agreement with East Orange Community Development Block Corporation to provide services under the Community Services Block Grant Program, October 1st, 2012 through December 31st, 2013, $50,000. Resolution number 19, Department of Citizen Services, Division of Community Action, Subgrant Agreement with the Township of Irvington Neighborhood Improvement Corporation to provide services under the Community Services Block Grant Program, October 1st, 2012 through December 31st, 2013, $35,717. Resolution number 20, Department of Citizen Services, Division of Community Action, Subgrant Agreement with Montclair Neighborhood Development Corporation to provide services under the Community Services Block Grant Program, October 1st, 2012 through December 31st, 2013, $50,000.
Let's go to 22 again from the Department of Citizen Services.
Resolution number 22, Department of Citizen Services, Division of Community Action, Subgrant Agreements with 23 agencies under the Social Services for the Homeless Program, January 1, 2013 to December 31st, 2013, $2,285,500.
Okay, Ralph.
If I may, yes, if the
Yes.
clerk could read 21. 21 is the funding for 22, is the insertion.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right, I noticed it was temporary emergency. Okay, let's take that since it's related to 22.
Okay,
Would you read
Resolution
21? Yes.
2013 Temporary Emergency Appropriation from the State of New Jersey, Department of Human Services, Division of Family Development for Social Services for the Homeless, Division of Community Action, $2,658,612.
Ralph?
Yes, 18, 19, and 20 are 3 agencies that we are funding under the insertion from 17, and they are to provide the services under the Community Service Block Grant Program. The first is for East Orange Community Development Block Grant Corporation, $50,000. The second is for the Township of Irvington, the Irvington Neighborhood Improvement Corporation, $35,717. And number 20 is funding for the Montclair Neighborhood Development Corporation, $50,000. All 3 agencies are approved by state, local, and nonprofit regulatory agencies. The Essex County Department of Citizen Services, Community Action, has been a partner with these agencies for many years, and the services are provided will assist the eligible population to achieve economic self-sufficiency and include, but are not limited to, as I highlighted earlier in the insertion, employment counseling, placement education, career training, housing assistance, emergency assistance, food, and youth services.
Okay. Freeholder, let's take 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22 that Mr. Shell just explained. and I'll take question comments on 18.
Madam President, I did not explain 21 or 22.
Okay, you want to go
Sure.
back then and explain 21 and 22?
Sure. 21 is the actual insertion from the State Department of Human Services, roughly $2.6 million. And these are services for the homeless and hungry citizens of Essex County who do not receive emergency assistance. This is for emergency food assistance, emergency shelter placement, case management, homeless prevention, rent, mortgage assistance, and utilities. And there is a 24-hour response system. 22 is the matrix that includes 23 agencies that provide these services. I would like to highlight that this year there are 2 less agencies. Unfortunately, Babyland did not respond to the RFP, and the Newark Day Center was non-responsive in their proposal. My understanding through Director Maurice Brown, we do have many representatives from these agencies here in this chambers this evening, and at this time I'll turn it over to Mr. Maurice Brown if the board has any additional questions.
Okay, Mr. Brown, will you please come to the mic?
Hello, good evening. Maurice Brown, Acting Director for the Division of Community Service, Community Action, I'm sorry.
Okay. Do you want to give any additional information to the board at this time about these agencies?
No, I think Mr. Ciela did very well in describing the resolutions.
Okay, and you have some of the agencies in the
Yes,
chambers?
I do. I have many of the agencies that we partner with that are here tonight, and I'll be very anxious to talk to Freeholder, to the Freeholder Clark about what's going on there.
Okay, very good. Just let me have the agencies to stand because, of course, we have to recognize you for the service that you rendered to our residents, less fortunate residents, and we want you to know that we appreciate all that you do with the clients, with the residents of Essex County. And again, thank you for your service. Thank you. Freeholders, let's go with question, comments on 18, 19, 20.
Madam President, I actually have a question in the aggregate. Is it?
Okay, let me finish with all of them and then you come 21.
I had a question.
On 21, Freeholder
20
Gill.
20 minutes. After 20, are we on 20 or 20?
Or 20, very good. That's with Montclair
Sure, I
Development. Thank you.
said a quick thank you, Madam President. Just wanted to put on the record and commend Montclair Neighborhood Development Corporation for the work that they are doing. I just wanted to make just more, I guess, clarification. This allotment on the CSBG is part of a first phase. It's a percentage of a total number, so this number could increase.
That's correct.
Once the additional funding comes in. And just how is the contract price arrived at with the vendor?
Madam President.
Or the provider, excuse me.
What we do is we look at the performance and also the number of programs that the agency provides. And from that is how we derive from Montclair. They've actually done very well. Also East Orange, and that's why they were allocated the $50,000. And from there, that's how we arrive at that figure.
Through you, Madam President.
Yes,
is that an increase for the Montclair Neighborhood Development Corporation?
I'm sorry?
Is that an increase from the last contract period in allocation of funds?
Madam President, if I may call up Terrence McCoy, who actually manages the CSBG. Now, all agencies right now, Madam President, have not submitted their audits, but for CSBG, we're in fairly good position.
Okay, your name for the record, please, and your affiliation.
Division of Community Action. No, it's the
same as last year.
Okay, the question was, did we have an increase or decrease for Montclair? They say it remained the same.
It remains the same.
So through you, Madam President, could I ask
Yes,
a follow-up
continue.
question? So if an for example, if an agency does want to expand, if an agency has an opportunity to expand or can expand, how do we determine that? Are we in contact ahead of this contract renewal, or are they, is it constant contact throughout the period of the year? How does that process? What does that process look like?
At Freeholder, there's a evaluation period where we monitor the agency on their performance. Once the amendment comes through, then we'll look at increasing or decreasing, depending upon the performance of the agency and how they are performing their programs and the program files.
Right. So if they're, I'm sorry, Madam President, please. So if there is an opportunity, if the program wants to make the case to increase services, they have ample opportunity to do that.
Yes. We'll just do a contract amendment on that.
On the contract.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Madam President.
Continue.
One follow-up
Of
question.
course,
And then just
continue.
so the contract is awarded October 1st to December 31st, 2013. And I'm not sure what we can do about this. I know that we get I've had communication about when the money actually comes from the date of the award. It seems that this money comes then much towards the end of the fiscal year, almost where this money comes at a lump sum towards the end of the fiscal year. Is there anything we can do to free this money up quicker, again, my feedback has been that this money comes, they know it's coming, but it comes almost, where they have to spend it maybe within a month or, a month and a half period of time. So is there anything that we can do on the county level to help expedite this process?
Right now, the state is moving us from fiscal to contract to calendar period. That's the reason why we're doing a 15-month contract period this year. So effective 2014 will be January 1st. We should be on track with getting our award letter probably around about November of this year, so we can expedite on getting the funds out to the agencies at a better time.
Thank you, Madam President. And I just asked if and I'm sure we would be if we were just notified when that happens, when the contract's administered. Thank you.
Mr. Scialla, if you would just notify the freeholders, per the request of Freeholder Gill.
And can I get a clarification? Is for the new funding cycle?
The new funding, that'd be fine. For the new funding, that'd be fine.
Yes.
Will do.
Very good. Okay, Mr. McInerney?
Yes, one of the issues that I've had with the grants is the failure of some agencies to not submit audits on a timely basis, if not some for maybe a number of years. The audits are required under the Single Audit Act to assure us that monies expended were expended in the previous year for the purpose for which they were designed. And I'm being told now, and I raised this issue last year as well, that audits have not been submitted for prior years. Not all audits are up to date. I think we need to get an assessment from the administration as to which agencies have submitted audits so that we can be assured that the monies that they received in the previous year's grants have been audited and expended in accordance with the grants.
Absolutely.
If this is on for action, I would hold it until we get that assessment from the administration.
Okay, very good. And that's for all of the, from 18 through 22, am I correct?
Who's ever on the grant list.
Right. Okay, Freeholder Clark.
Thank you very much. I rarely disagree with Mr. McInerney, especially rarely in public, but I disagree wholeheartedly and vehemently tonight. I don't think we should hold anything. As a matter of fact, my question is, how quickly can we get those dollars flowing to the people that need them and need them badly? I wouldn't hold a dime. I agree with you that we should get audits, and I agree with your line of questioning. But I wholeheartedly disagree that we should hold a dime of any dollars that we can get out into the community right about now, because there are some people who literally, it's their only lifeline. And if we hold up any funding based on getting paperwork back in, that would be criminal to folks in the community that need it.
Madam President, please.
Mr.
It is, all I'm stating is not criminal. What I am saying is simply this, is that this question came up last year. It should come in as no surprise. We let it slide last year. All I'm saying is this, is that those dollars should be expended for what they're designed, and they shouldn't be held up. So if people have their audits in on time, they should get their money. If those audits aren't performed, we are not aware that the money is being expended for the purpose for which they're designed. So I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just stating my opinion, in all due respect, Freeholder, that this issue came up last year, and some agencies were significantly behind on audits, and I think we ought to assess. For those who have the audits in, it's not an issue. For those who don't, it's up to the administration what they want to do in this Board of Freeholders.
Okay, just before Ralph answers, I know I've been on the board for a while, and we would never approve contracts for providers unless we had those audits. But I'm not saying that we have to do that tonight, but I think it's something that we need to do because we're always criticized about giving funds to nonprofits and we're not monitoring what they're doing with the money. And I do recall that was always something we said to the administration, don't bring it to us or don't make the recommendation to fund the agencies unless they do their due diligence. And we're responsible as freeholders to make sure that when we put money in agencies' hands, that money is suspended the way it should. So I hear both of you, but speaking on what should be done and what we're not doing that we used to do, I think we need to go back to that. It should not even come to this freeholder board unless an audit is attached to their bid when it's presented. So I don't think we are saying not to do it, but it's something that this board, I have to make sure that this board understands when we don't do our due diligence as a board, our hearts are wide open. And nobody understands the poverty in our urban cities no more than I, because I live it every day. But I still have a responsibility here to make sure everybody is doing what they should do. That means our staff, the administration, our staff, and then the individuals the providers that we contract with. So, and I'll come back to you, and I listened to Mr. McInerney. I'll come back to you in a minute, Ralph.
Madam President,
and I'll come back to you.
I hear the concerns and what the administration is prepared to do, and if the board agrees to it, is I'm sure that many of these agencies are in good standing. They have their audits. Mm-hmm. It's unfortunate or unfair to penalize the majority if there are few. So what I would like to propose for this board is we would have our department only contract or move those contracts because we have not done the final. This is based on a matrix. Those contracts would not be let out for payment until a single audit is in the possession of the director's office. Mm-hmm. We will keep this board updated with a score sheet of what agencies have submitted, which agencies have not. Those agencies that have not received or submitted their audits will not receive a dime until such time that provision or that requirement is met.
Madam President, can I just make another statement?
Yes.
I'm not talking about the 2012 audits.
No.
Okay, they would not be ready by April of 2013. And some of these may be single audits because they're over a certain amount. Some of them may not be single audits. But either way, we require a audited financial statement or a financial statement from these agencies, from our contractors. And all I'm saying is the latest one, I think the administration should look at what was the latest one. If it's a December 31st of 2011, that's a current audit. Mm-hmm. If it's a June of 2012, that's a current audit. And I'm not even telling the administration as to how to measure this. All I'm saying is that there has been situations where we've been giving out grants to agencies who have not completed audits for a number of years.
And that's what, okay, Freeholder Clark, and then, I see another hand from Freeholder Beasley.
Okay. Based on what you just said now, then I can live with if a person doesn't have their audit in from 2011. Okay, I can understand that. I can understand that. But if you indicate that the 2012 audits wouldn't be in yet, then there would be no reason.
Yeah.
And I don't know that anybody that's here tonight that stood probably or that's in this list may not be in compliance. I don't know. If they are, then we would, especially if it's back from 2011, 2010 prior audits that weren't done. However, we have to recognize too that this is something that should have been done back in October. That's just now getting done. So it's not the agency's fault that they're put under the gun. I'm not really sure when the notice of obligations are come out. I'm not sure when the state does what it's supposed to do. All I know is that the agencies are waiting with bated breath and people sitting on their doorsteps that need help. So either we're going to provide the service or we're going to stop playing games with people, because we're playing games with people's lives. If this money is there and it's there specifically to provide a service, then let's do it. And let's do it in a timely fashion. Now, yes, we need to hold the agency's feet to the fire as well and make sure that they do what they're supposed to do to get the funds. But in many instances, the agencies have done the things that they're supposed to do, only to find that the funds are being held up for whatever, God knows what reason. So I say, if the funds are ready to go now, let's make sure they're in the agency's hands now, and let's make sure that they get an opportunity to spend them now. But the other cruel hoax is the one that Freeholder Gill mentioned. You make an agency wait for the funds, and then you say, here's a bunch of money, now go spend it right away, or else you're the ones that are in violation. That happens too, and that's not a good thing. That's all I'm saying. I'm not going to debate it. I'm not going to argue it, because it's something that I'm really passionate about. So I'll be quiet.
I think we all passionate. There's no one sitting in this room that don't feel the passion you feel, Freeholder Clark. It's just that we have to make sure that we do things right, from the administration to the freeholders. Has nothing to do with our passion. It has nothing to do if we feel that the agency should have the dollars. I just need to ask one question to the administration. Why is it that the money is held up? Mr. Shiala, why is it that the money is held up? Is it because the county is holding the money, or is it that we did not receive it from the state? I just need that answer.
Through you, Madam President, I would encourage the director of the department to address that answer.
Okay, I need you to address the answer. Why is it that when we receive the money from the state, that it is not, and if the contracts are there, we've accepted the bids, why is it that we hold the money before dispensing it and bringing it before the freeholders to approve the dollars for us to give to the agencies?
Madam President, I'm not using this as an excuse, but I only came on board in October, and I'm already changing some things. I'm addressing Mr. McInerney's issue on identifying those agencies that are not living up to their part of what they're supposed to do. Also, in this particular time, the awards letter that comes in from the state that allow us to move forward comes in around October, November timeframe. Then the bid goes out, and there's a process there that takes a certain number of days. I've already stated to my division that this year, coming 2013, we are going to move forward in August, as opposed to waiting to November, and see if we can move this thing a lot quicker than what I inherited when I came in 2012.
So you're saying that we don't go out for bid until the state awards the money to us?
My understanding, but I have with me Natasha Mays, who runs the SSH.
Because I think this is important. Because if we don't get if we don't get an understanding of why we hold dollars that should be going to the agency for months. Are we saying we're holding the money and we don't have the dollars from the state and we're waiting to get the state to send it to the county? But are we saying that the state send the money to the county and we hold up for what reason?
Well, Madam President, we're looking at resolving that issue, and I can tell you right now that that's what I'm looking at. Where is the holdup? When does that awards letter come in, and what we can do about it? I can't give you a better answer than that right now until I just said that we're going to change things in 2013. Because again, I agree that money coming in, why is it taking so long to go out?
Are we sending money back to the state, or are we utilizing the funds that we have?
No, we are utilizing the funds.
And we're not sending any money back?
Not to my knowledge. We're not sending any money back,
Okay.
no.
What I would like to do is have a committee meeting to deal with this particular issue.
Be happy to, Madam President.
All right. Madam
happy
Clerk,
to.
will you please schedule that meeting with the administration and the department?
Yes, Madam President.
Okay. And now I'll go back to you, Mr. McInerney. And I'll come back to you.
The point I
Freeholder
want to
Gill.
make is this, is that maybe all of the agencies are in compliance. I had asked that the last time. I asked tonight if everybody submitted the audit, their current audits. The administration said no. That's the reason for my response to that. That's the reason why I that I recommend that we have the administration review that and let us know who's current and who's not. They're all current, obviously there's no problem.
Okay. I agree with you. So we're talking about this issue we're speaking on this from two different angles. One is to find out what's the holdup why the agencies are not receiving their dollars. And then another is for us to follow procedure to make sure we all are living up to the state's requirements. That's all. Okay, Freeholder Beasley.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. I think listening to what the administration has said and the importance of the money being received as early as possible, because people, certainly will benefit that much more, is that we're talking about approving the appropriation, but the accountability is that approving appropriation on our part moves the money, but the administration is saying that they would, and I want to get clarity on this, that the administration is saying that those who haven't, did the audits, then I guess they would have to comply. But at least the appropriation would be approved, from the freeholders' point of view, because with all the good that, is done, accountability is, and I agree with you, I just don't think we can put ourselves in a position of not holding people accountable with the authority we have to approve this. But I also hear us saying that we're talking about not holding back money. So approving the appropriation is the most important thing, but administration is saying that they'll put in force orders that need to be received. Thank you.
That's why we need the meeting. I want to know what are we putting in place to make sure this doesn't happen again. I need a motion to take resolutions 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22.
Madam President?
You have a motion already.
Oh, I have a
Sorry,
motion already.
I'm
in
sorry,
a
Madam
second.
President.
Yes, Freeholder Gill.
One additional question. I don't want to belabor the point. That was.
No, I
that
don't
was.
have a motion. I'm sorry, continue.
That was the genesis of my original question, and I think kind of come full circle. That's really what I was getting at. So thank you for everyone articulating a little bit better maybe than I did about my point overall. So I wanted to ask then a specific question specific to the Montclair Neighborhood Development Corporation, which is in my district. So their funds are scheduled to run out, I guess, under the last year's grant at the end of this month. So if we take this action, when will they? I'm still not clear. When would they see this money?
to check. Can someone from the department answer
Yes.
that question?
San Francisco Court Community Action as soon as the freeholders vote.
Okay.
I mean, that's the only thing I can say. As soon as the freeholders vote, we can get everything passed down and start getting the funds out once we start getting their reports in. Because this is a reimbursable cost.
Right,
So
so-
we have to get their reports in.
So they
see
still
what
have to
they've
do their
spent.
due diligence.
Right, so-
And I do want to go back to something for SEAS. I can only speak for the Community Service Block Grant. Though we didn't hold on to any money. We had just received the award letter just in March. So that's why we were able, we held back on, because we can't do anything until we received the award letter from the state. So
That's what I was asking, because it appeared that you had the award money, you had the award letter, but you didn't follow through to make sure that we would vote, bring it back to the freeholders to vote on it, so that we could disperse the money. So all the conversation we had, it appeared that we were holding, the county was holding the money after the state released it, and we didn't do our due diligence with the agencies. Because that's what you saying that we just received the award.
just received the
So it was
award
not
from the state.
the county's fault. Okay, then, so what are we talking about? We still need the meeting. We still need the meeting so the freeholders can get a better understanding of how that works. Okay, thank you again so much, gentlemen, for the information that you provided to the freeholder. Okay, I still need a mover and a second to take resolutions.
I think you already got it.
No, the clerk said we don't have it.
Had it for the last one.
That was the last year.
That was 17.
I'll move it.
18, 19, 20,
I'll
21,
move it,
and
Madam
22 by
President.
Clark. Who is seconded? Beasley. Okay, we have a mover and a second. Further discussion? None. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Beasley?
Yes.
Freeholder Bobadilla, absent. Freeholder Clark?
Yes.
Freeholder Gill?
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson?
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano?
Yes.
Freeholder Owens?
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Seabold, absent. Freeholder President Watson?
Yes.
So moved.
Okay, let's take resolution 2324. Madam Clerk.
Okay, Resolution 23, 2013 temporary emergency appropriation from the State of New Jersey Department of Children and Families for Human Services Homeless Population, Division of Community Action, $227,889. Department of Citizen Service, Resolution 24, Department of Citizen Services, Division of Community Action, subgrant agreements with two service providers, Essex North Legal Services and Hyacinth AIDS Foundation, to provide legal services, case management, and emergency assistance under the Social Services for the Homeless Program, January 1, 2013 through December 31st, 2013, amount not to exceed $74,000 and $33,000 respectively.
Okay, Mr. Oshella, will you explain the resolution 2324? Tell us why you're requesting action.
Yes, Madam President. As you know, these 23 is the insertion of funds from the state of New Jersey, from the homeless population division of community action, $227,889. We would like to get these support services to those two agencies that were funded in 24, and that is the reason for the asking for action. These funds come into the county for case management, rental assistance, and legal services. In 24, two of the agencies that provide that service. The first is the Essex Newark Legal Services, $74,000. And the next is the Hyacinth AIDS Foundation, $33,000. This was publicly advertised, fair and open, competitive contracting process. We did have 28 respondents to the RFP. This is the same funding as well as the same vendors this year that will be providing this service.
Okay, freeholders' question, comments on 23, 24. Let me just ask a quick question. On 23, is this the same amount that we received last year?
Through you, Madam President, yes, it is the same amount.
Okay. And did we expend all of the dollars that we received last year?
I've gotten a nod from Director Maurice Brown. Yes, we did.
We did. Very good. because we don't ever want to send any money from the programs like this back to the state. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Madam President.
I need a motion and second, freeholders. No further question, comments on 2324. I need a motion. Freeholder Johnson moved it. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Freeholder Owens.
Yes.
No further question, comments. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Vice President Seabold, absent. Freeholder Owens.
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson.
Yes.
Freeholder Gill.
Yes.
Freeholder Clark, absent. Freeholder Bobadilla, absent. Freeholder Beasley.
Yes.
Freeholder President Watson.
Yes.
Madam President.
Okay, we going, yes.
Yes, I just
Freeholder
want to be
Beasley.
listed for Resolution 17 in the
And the
affirmative.
affirmative.
Yes.
Okay, would you please?
Yes. Yes, Madam President.
Okay, Madam Clerk, we'll take resolution 25 through 29. Moved by Johnson.
Yes.
And we're gonna list them. I'm sorry, we listing these. They're not for action. That's my backup. That's why I have you sitting next to me.
Madam President.
Okay, we're going to list resolutions 25 through 29, Madam Clerk. Do we have any added starter resolutions, ordinances?
Yes, Madam President, but we addressed the fee schedule ordinance at the beginning of the agenda.
Okay, very good.
No other?
No other. Do we have, move to the public comment session? Do we have anyone from the public who would like to speak at this time? Please come to the microphone, state your name, affiliation for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak.
Good evening. Douglas Freeman, Weekways Park Sports Authority, P.O. Box 4252, New Jersey. Madam Chairman, elected board of freeholders, I want to thank you, the administration, and Tree Foundation for the 150 trees we're going to be planting inside Weekway Park on Monday, April the 8th at 8 a.m. We was able to obtain the commitments from WPA, Maple School Dads, Clinton Hill, Greater North Conservancy, Rodney Mason's Mentoring Baseball Camp, the First Tee, Raz Baraka's office, and also PSNG in the New York and New Jersey Port Authority. So asking everyone in the public to come down to Weekway Park. Thank you.
What date is that?
April the 8th. That's a Monday.
Okay, thank you. Next, just come to the mic and state your name and affiliation for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak.
Hello, I'm Dwayne Harris from Urban Renewal, 224 Sussex Avenue. And I just want to say thank you to the freeholders. I'm a part of the assistance, the grant, the SSH grant. A couple years back, I came home with nothing. And because of grants like that, you know, it allowed me to get a job now. Now I work for 224 Sussex Avenue. I have my own apartment. I pay taxes. You could have kept those. But, you know, I just want to definitely say thank you. And Freeholder Clark, she's not here. But, you know, I want to say thank you guys. And it really works. And I know 9 other people that came there around the time that I did. And everybody is predominant, good sense. They all work, everybody have their own place. But some of us really need, you know, that 90 days. It was for 90 days, but that 90 days changed my life. It helped me transform from a boy to a man. So thank you guys.
And thank you so much for your comments. We appreciate hearing stories like this because that's what we're here for, to help. And again, thank you. And good luck. Just keep up the good work.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. And do we have anyone else from the public who would like to speak? Just come to the microphone if you have any comments. If not, we'll go into other business freeholders. You have any items or questions or comments you'd like to place on the record? Freeholder Luciana.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you, I just wanted to thank you for the moment of silence prior to the start of the meeting in regards to my grandmother who did pass away on Monday. My grandmother was a lifelong resident of Essex County. She was born and raised in Orange, and then later in her life moved on to West Orange. She will be greatly missed, but I made it a point to make it to tonight's meeting because my grandmother was the type of person, you know, who never really sat around and showed much emotion, and she did her business the way she knew how, and I thought it fitting that I would do what I'm elected to do and be here for my business tonight. But I just wanted to put on record, thank you for all my colleagues and for the nice, kind words that you were able to speak tonight on her behalf.
Very good. Freeholder Johnson.
Yes, Madam President. I'd like to first commend and thank the administration because just last week, as a matter of fact, they just left today to go back to Puerto Rico. We had 3 teams here, 1 junior high girls, 1 junior high boys, and high school team that played different high school teams and junior high teams throughout the county. And it was a wonderful experience, especially for our kids here and for them. They toured UNDMJ, they got an educational piece in, they got UNDMJ, they toured our county facility here and really enjoyed it, took a lot of pictures. Because it wasn't easy handling 80 people, 60 youth and 35, 40 adults. But with the help of my man Ralph Chilella and company and our staff, of course, here that did a great job at welcoming them and helping us set the stage for them, I think it was a beautiful day. It was a beautiful couple of days, and I still feel the tiredness from those days of running around with a group of 80 people. But also, I would like to put on the record, and for those viewing and those who are here in attendance, that on April the 13th, which is next Saturday, we will be meeting at Vailsburg Park because we are going to clean South Orange Avenue from Bergen and South Orange Avenue all the way up to the South Orange border. We will have the materials and the tools there. We will have county trucks there that will help us to get rid of the debris. We have the Superior Officers Union from Newark Firefighters Union who's going to supply the lunch for everyone. The meeting place will be Speedway Avenue School, right across the street from the park. So anyone that wants to participate or partake in the cleaning of our Newark thoroughfare, please, you're more than welcome. Thank you.
What time?
11:30 a.m.
I volunteered already.
Okay, very good. Do we have any other comments, freeholders, from the administration? Do we have any comments? Ralph, do you have any comments
Madam
you would like to make at this time? Freeholder Clark?
Madam President, just to say while I was out of the room, if I missed anything, please count my vote in the affirmative. I don't think I did.
Madam President, I think she missed a good compliment that she got while she was out in the hall.
Oh, well, you know what? You guys, just so you know, I think you're maybe saving somebody's life right now. That's why I was out of the room. So thank you. Thank everybody. And I want to thank Mr. McInerney because I understand that where your intent was. I really do. But I just want you to know that I guess the reason I was, a little wound up is because when a person gives you that do or die kind of a call and you realize that you've done something, we've done something that really maybe sent a parachute, that's a good thing.
Okay.
Let me just,
Mr. McInerney.
Freeholder, I deal with the fiscal side, and I call it as I see it strictly from that.
No, I appreciate it. No. So I just don't want you to think that, because we don't have any, there's no beef, as they say. We're cool.
Okay, we'll move forward. Other business, no other business? Yes, Freeholder Gill.
Madam President, on Ordinance 1 and Resolutions 1, 2, and 3, were those were they listed or were they
Resolution.
Ordinance 1 was on first reading, right? So
No, we voted on resolution, I'm sorry, no, we did not vote on Resolution 1. we voted on ordinance number 1.
Can I be recorded in the
Introduction of ordinance.
Yeah, can I be
number 1.
recorded in the affirmative on ordinance number
Introduction
1?
of ordinance number 1. And I think that was the others we listed.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Let me just, as always, we respond to questions during public comment session. And last week, we only had one individual from the public to speak, and that was Mr. Jeremiah Barada, expressed concern that clients were not being served by county employees during the 7th Annual Women's History Celebration and Luncheon. And we responded, and I must read this letter in its fullness. And we responded to Mr. Barada by saying, during the public comment session of the board's Wednesday, March 27th meeting held at the Hall of Records, you expressed your concern that clients were not served by county employees during the 7th Annual Women's History Celebration and Luncheon held at the Division of Welfare's Office of Special Services. To reiterate what I said at the meeting last week in response to your remarks, please be advised that the luncheon, which was held in the lobby at 18 Rector Street to honor female employees with 40 years of service to the county, occurred during lunchtime. Arrangements were made in advance for other employees to provide full coverage to clients during the luncheon. And all luncheon attendees paid $18 out of their own pocket to attend. I thank you for your interest in the County of Essex and encourage you to call Freeholder Clerk Deborah Davis Ford if you have any additional questions. So that, I wanted to make sure I responded in full to that comment. Do I have any other motions? Other business? If not, yes, Freeholder Gill.
Madam President, thank you. I didn't say, and maybe I missed it, was there any response from the administration to the questions raised by the SEIU at our last meeting? Through you, Madam President, through the administration?
It's not on my comment sheet. No.
I think you, Madam President, the reason why the administration did not respond primarily is that bid is out on the street, and it's not permissible for discussions while a bid is out on the street.
Okay. All right.
Through you, Madam President.
Yes, continue.
So it's on the record, and so the administration's aware, I have requested a meeting through Madam President's office for potential language for an ordinance addressing this issue, not specific to this RFP, but some ordinance language that other counties have looked at that I'm hoping the administration would take a look at as well, specific to this issue on behalf of SEIU.
But what I did, I received that your request today, and I immediately challenged the staff to move on that as soon as possible. They contacted your office for the next available date.
Thank you,
with the understanding that I will be asking our council to be there, along with Mr. Chiella and also Paganelli. So we have counsel from both sides because we're talking about legal issues with this. I will have the meeting with counsels on both sides, Mr. Chiella, yourself, and me.
Thank you, Madam President.
You're quite welcome. Yes, Freeholder Clark.
Yeah, I know that I'd like to be there as well. I think I'm scheduled to be there as well. Correct?
No.
No. Well, I'd like to, Madam President, only because I'm in support of the language.
Well, of course you will. I will make sure the other freeholders are involved, but this is a preliminary meeting that I need to make sure that before I present it to the other freeholders, that we vent it first. Okay. The meeting will be with Mr. Chiella, Mr. Paganelli, Mr. Polyvecchio, Freeholder Gill, since he initiated the request to me, and myself. But I will include the other freeholders at a later time. Okay? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Thank you.